have a much wetter piece. This is leather hard, but probably just beyond the point where you could comfortably attach a handle. So there are different tools that you want to use for the etching that I'm going to show in a minute. And an important thing is to know the right dryness to use these tools with, so that it just makes your life a lot easier. And you can get different effects using certain tools at different drynesses. So it's kind of fun to experiment with that. This is an engobe that has ochre and cobalt in it, but it actually is kind of a black. But it goes on really brown. And this one I'm going to just do kind of a more crisp design on this, and then I'm going to use a finer tool to do a little etching in there, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So I'm actually going to just, one of my favorite themes is just to do big circles. And again, they don't have to be pristine because the glaze is going to cover a lot of this. I just want to make sure I get a good coating of the engobe. This is a cheap brush from the hardware store, and it's one of my favorite tools. It's I think it's Purdy brand. I think they have them everywhere. It's for faux finishing techniques, I think. Just put a couple of these big circles on there. My engobe is formulated to not have to go on super thick. I'm not actually looking to build up a thick layer. I'm just looking to get a nice coating of the color on there. And the third circle. So these are some areas that are going to show up darker than the clay body after I do the wax resist pattern over this. And I will be able to explain that a little better down the road here when I get the wax resist on. But the next thing I'm going to do, I'm letting this dry out just to the point where it's not shiny anymore. And while I wait for that, I can just clean it up a little bit and get a little bit on the bottom. So I can put my initials in there. Good enough. So now what I'm going to do is etch some fine lines into the clay that will show up just a little hint of shift of the color, just enough for the soda and the glaze to break over it. Sometimes it leaves a little raised, ridgy thing that I kind of like, because it kind of reminds me, or reminds the user, that this was made with someone's hand. And it just gives a little kind of a tactile, a little extra tactile experience. Just a little hint of a raised surface on there. But you can see how it picks up just subtle variations in the glaze. So I'm going to etch some lines in there now. With, I use a number of different tools, but the Stollen knife is good. Some people use just a metal rib. This works much better on the leather hard clay that's wetter than leather hard clay that's heading toward bone dry. If it's heading toward bone dry, then you get kind of nubby things that you have to clean up off of there. But this makes kind of a nice, scalpels also work really well too. So I'm just going to start. And again, I don't have to be super exact. Not really following the line. I actually am kind of intrigued by things being a little off register, so sometimes I actually do them a little bit more off than usual. And then I'll come in and do, again, I'm not trying to make straight lines. If you're a person that likes to make straight lines, go ahead. That's not me. I think these kind of wonky lines give it just a little extra movement and interest on the pot. There's something very pleasing about making these marks on here. Okay, so there's this, and just do a little on the bottom, just a little reference down there.